Hey everybody, welcome to Clockwise Thoughts. Very, very interesting, very, very intriguing topic. Um, we want to speak about Kamala Harris. As you know, she was selected as Joe Biden's vice president. She's a black woman, which is pretty dope. But I have a question. Should we refer to her as that's the first black female vice president or the first black female president? I know it's a little weird, a little tricky, but there's a reason why
Well, well,
I'm gonna let Nick start or Black start off.
Hold on. First off, let's we gotta. She was nominated as the vice presidential candidate. I mean, we haven't had an election yet. Oh no. Um, but she's a woman of color. That's without doubt. Her mother was Indian. Father, I believe, is biracial, black and white, from Jamaica. Yes. Um, so she's a woman of color, yes. But to answer your question, because there's a deeper meaning to the question you're asking, yeah, there's a good possibility she's going to be running the country if Joe Biden is elected as president. Um, so either way you look at it, she might have both titles or she'll only have one. But either way, it is a very interesting question because I I have a hard time seeing the country really confident in Joe Biden's ability based on age. Again, John McCain was told he was too old to run for president in '77, and I believe Joe Biden's the same age. But if the wave, if the push, if the anti-Trump sentiment is as strong as it appears to be, I guess, then Joe Biden's going to win by default. But again, then it would be her running the country. So I don't know if the world is ready for that. I don't know if that's enough to deter people from voting for Joe Biden.
I mean, I do think it's interesting. It is. It's a very very interesting thought. Very very interesting sentiment because it's only been
Hmm.
so we're only 4 years removed from
From
our first black president in general. So when you look at it that way, it's really not that long ago. It's not that far off. And yeah, with we remember him as Uncle Joe, and with Uncle Joe being as old as he is, like you said, there's a very good possibility that we can have the first female vice president as well as the first female president. You know, it,
hmm
it's very very interesting when you look at that. But now, with that being said, yeah, it's cool. It sounds awesome. But what do we know about Kamala Harris? What does she? How does she see our country moving forward? Because what did they say in Spider Man? With great power comes great responsibility. Um, you're going to be responsible for a lot, a whole lot, and the way that you move is going to determine the way that we are seen around the world, good, bad, ugly, whatever it may be. You know, so Scout, you have a what do you think about this whole situation?
Two things. One, is America fully ready? And not, I'll start at home first. Is America fully ready for this? They've said it, they somewhat give Hillary a shot, but then in the end, they flipped it. Um, and then two, how do we as Americans think that we would be looked at from a global standpoint? And I'm not saying this because y'all know I really don't dabble in politics, and I know the politicians are the one that makes a change. But the way how I see it, they all lie, and that's one. But you have to look at it as a standpoint. Out of the two evils, which evil would you rather have? The evil that you know or the evil that you don't know. And me personally, I look at it, I can give a fruity batootie what other countries say. I think it's time for change. And I honestly think that may be the best option moving a lot of things forward. That's just once again, that's my own personal opinion. And I think when it boils down to in this election, that's what people should really consider. It's not about what they saying because if you really look out through history and everything else, we've been the top dog for forever. And every great nation does tumble. And that's just how it is through history. But why can't we be on that end to where it's just not one powerhouse in the world? Right now, the only powerhouse, and it's been the same powerhouse, is England. The Queen ain't letting go nothing. But on that note, you got to think how their stuff is run. Theirs is not like ours. Do what's, I think the American people, right. I think the American people as a whole, with everything that's going on right now, you want change? Start with your minor elections and go from there. Now, I'll say she will bring change because it's a first. It's a first. But I would honestly like to see, for real, what would that honestly bring? And how would it spin the outlook of what is going on right now? Because right now, who's in office? You know what? I ain't even gonna speak on that. It's just
Okay. Well, I mean, again, you're right. Change for the, but I mean, it's change for the sake of change, necessarily a good thing, I guess. Um, you know, before we even consider the thought of her actually, being in the White House in that regard, um, it's a few things we gotta find out. All right, prime example. One thing that we all have in common, we all own a firearm. So I'd like to understand what her stance on gun control is. I say that loosely because the process just needs to be tweaked a little bit. I don't know if you need necessarily control, but hey, whatever. Um, uh, stances on immigration, but for me, that's not that high up on my list of priorities. Yeah, it's nice to know, but it's not something that I necessarily am like, oh God, we're gonna get overrun tomorrow. Um, more importantly, coronavirus. I think that's the top thing on everybody's mind. You know what I mean? How are we going to handle the situation? When are we going to be able to say, okay, we have something that can fight this, or um, you know what I mean? How are we gonna move forward back to what I guess you could say was normal? Yeah, we're still gonna have to clean our hands and things of that nature, but like the masks, are we still going to have to wear masks everywhere?
No,
You know what I mean? There are some countries where the air is horribly breathable, and I don't think they're wearing a mask, or they were before that.
right. No, I get what you're saying. There's with this whole idea. Um, it is interesting. It is very, very interesting, and I kind of I like it, but I'm also worried about it at the same time. Like I'm also very, very skeptical about it. Like I would love for her to be the first black female vice president and the first black female president. I think that would be amazing. I think that would be tremendous. In my city alone in Chicago, we have our first black female mayor. It's
And
amazing.
life was,
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Now, keeping in mind that nothing ever works in your first year. You're always cleaning up somebody's mess. So I am interested to see how this goes. Once again, just her having the title alone is enough. But she does end up, with some sort of power. we really have to look at it and say, you know, is what you're doing really helping us? Is it moving the needle forward to put us in a better situation, in a better predicament, or is it keeping the status quo?
Well, I think unfortunately the saddest part about that is with the broken system in the sense that's in place, I don't think we're going to ever realistically get to really addressing those situations, because at the end of the day, everything starts at the ground level. You know what I mean? Everything starts at the ground level. So no matter what, you're going to go talk to your local city council or what have you. They're going to go speak to their officials. It's going to, at some point work its way up towards the legislator. Okay. Then it might even hit the senator, and then we get it to Washington. You know what I mean? So change has to happen from a lower level, a lower level before it can blossom all the way up the ranks to where the president, the vice president is going to get, I guess you could say, involved.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Usually, unless they order in presidential decrees, which then trickle downward.
Right.
So,
No, and I get it. I understand that's how it works. But I'm just very interested. Once again, I think this is going to be, well, not going to be. This is interesting. She already has the title of being nominated. In general, she is the first Black female nominated for any position like that. So that holds weight in its own right. But it still comes down to it. Am I worried? Like I said, yes, I'm very worried. I'm I'm optimistic, but I'm worried. I'm skeptically optimistic only because I've seen a couple of her platforms. She wants to cut military spending. Okay, that kind of hurts. She wants to
Mm.
withdraw troops from the Middle East. Okay, all right, cool. Less deployments. I get that. She wants to enforce a assault weapon. No such thing as assault weapons. They don't exist. They don't. She wants to have universal background checks. Okay. Um, Miss Kamala Harris, just to let you know, there are more than 300, no, yeah, no, 300,000 federal firearm laws, and then 20,000 local. Just to let you know. But there are things like that. I'm I'm leery. I'm skeptical. I'm optimistically skeptical, but it's things like that. Like, how does cutting the military budget help us? Where would that money go? Because if you tell me it's going to go back into the government, it doesn't need to go there if you're trying to cut it. So it's, once again, hey, I'm proud for her. I'm just kind of concerned about some of her views and how they will end up making us look, as well as you know if they, like I said, if it helps move the needle in one direction or the other, or will it
mhm.
maintain the status quo so far?
Well, again, I don't know if we just changing for the sake of changing and moving forward, but I mean it's progress in the sense that okay, women are rising up the ladder, even though Hillary did run for president, 2016. But yeah, it's definitely going to bring change, again, either way we look at it. But if we don't know or necessarily agree with the principles that she represents or that she stands on, then realistically that change, like I said, all change ain't good change.
Yeah, this is all. You're right. All change isn't good change, but it still takes something, to make nothing, or nothing to make something happen. And
That's true.
we've been doing nothing. But once again, man, and
Mm.
I am I'm
I ain't gonna comment on that.
I'm
Hmm.
I'm happily optimistic and then cautiously optimistic all at the same time. just to see, what happened, just to see.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's just domestically. Then, like even Scott was alluding to earlier, abroad. Like, how are other, I'm saying, how are we gonna be seen on the world stage, especially if Joe Biden already is looked at as the old feeble guy. Again, I'm just saying this based on age. I'm not even saying this on policy or anything. Just based on age.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, and it's
is his second in command going to be viewed with the proper reverence that she deserves, or you know what I mean, in the potential that some crazy happens and she ends up taking being ascending to the highest office in the land, is she going to be respected on that world stage as a leader? You know what I mean?
true. So, if you guys,
I'm a firm believer on this,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna say this, not to cut you off, Reed.
oh no, go ahead.
To get respect, you gotta give it, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Most of these countries is going to not try to give her respect from the very beginning,
Right.
because a lot of their backgrounds, they don't believe women should be empowered. Period. I'm like this, and I've always been like this, even through my military career or not. The best person for the job should have that job. I don't care if you're blind, crippled, crazy, male, female, whatever you may have it. The best person, or I stand correct, the best human being for the job should honestly get that job. Because right now, we're doing nothing. Okay, yeah, we tried the businessman avenue. That's great. Whole deal. We tried it. We put it out there. But what has really happened and done? Like, or if you're more concerned about saying that you're trying to constantly bring in revenue and everything else, but you're not concerned of what's actually going on. We need someone in office who's going to actually be held accountable for their word and fix what is needed, not what's saying at the end of their term, at the end of their 4 years or whatever, what's needed now, today. Not someone who's going to sit back and, well, I brought this many jobs to this. And if 4 more years, I could bring on more jobs. That's bull. I don't want to hear that. Fix what the heck you need to fix right now. You still got us as people being shot, minorities, whatever else. They ain't trying to solve cases. They ain't trying to do that. Get somebody in office going to be like, hey, I'm going to be going public record. Soon as they get sworn in, hold on, don't cut them cameras. We ain't waving off nothing. Everybody, if you got voted in, this is how this going to run. It's going to be a long couple of days. Week, maybe. But we going to fix this now. I ain't going to go out and say, well, my day one first and no, we going to fix it right now, because that's what's needed. Not all this nonsense of, well, if healthcare reform, I'm going to tear down this and then I'm going to engage in the policy. Look, that's all fine then. Do that month 2. Day 1, you stepping foot in there, fix what's needed to be fixed. You have us as people scared of going outside their homes or letting their kids go somewhere when they see blue lights. Fix that. You got other people talking about healthcare. If you can come see your family, you can't see your family if they in hospital with this disease. Make better reform on that. You got kids that want to actually go to school to better higher learning, but not fortunate enough to have the internet and stuff like that or anything. You can fix that. We need someone who's going to be in office that's going to take action and be accountable of right now. Not tomorrow, right now. This is why I don't talk about politics. Fix the stuff right now.
No. As funny as it is, that's that's what you wanna hear, because that's usually the contrast is, okay, what I'm doing isn't for tomorrow, it's for 2 weeks from today. And to Scout, to your point, you're right. Most people are like, we'll get there, but right now we need to address what's going on now, or we not going to get to 2 weeks from now.
Right.
So that's where the give and take and the compromise needs to occur, and that's what I believe. Sadly, we don't get as
So
a society. And I know this is completely off the topic, and I apologize for that.
hold on. So let me ask you this before you continue your thought, because I
Hmm.
believe you're about to answer this question. Do you think Kamala Harris, if Team Biden win, if Harris Biden, if Biden Harris wins, that we'll start to see those immediate changes that we want?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be totally truthful with you. Depending, because I'm not up on the congressional races, but if it all tied up like right now, if what happens in November is status quo of right now, or it stays the way till December, then the Dems run the House, which is basically the legislative branch. So the Republicans would run the Senate, but the White House would be run by the Dems as well. So that would be, I mean, you would have a decent time pushing some things through, because I don't think you'd have to flip. I'm not sure you would have to flip that many senators in the
Now,
yeah, I
now
don't think you have to flip that many senators. But at the same time, with that also being said, if you're going to push through legislation, is it going to be legislation that's going to help the people? And that's really, realistically the
right.
question.
Now keep in mind that when we had Obama in office, he had a majority in the House and in the Senate, and
Mm-hmm.
he still had issues getting things through.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have to keep that in mind. Once again, skeptically optimistic. But if you guys are curious, to see some of her talking points, to see what her platform was when she was running, and I do believe her platform echoes Biden's in virtually
Yeah,
aspect, maybe except for two. You can check out political.com, and they actually
definitely.
everything that Kamala Harris that she had in her platform when she was running for the presidency by herself. When she was running for the Democratic nomination, taking it for are some things that you may be down with. There may be some things that you're not. So just for instance, for economy, affordable housing. She wants to give subsidized renters and housers extra money. Income inequality, expand tax benefits for middle and lower class Americans. Minimum wage, she wants to bring that up to $15 an hour. Paid leave supports several months of board paid leave, so your job has to give you, several months worth of leave. Reparations, she wants to study reparations, not give them. She wants to study them.
Okay.
So yeah, check that out. Cost of college. Students shouldn't have to take on college debt. You're right. We shouldn't. I shouldn't have to pay back the government $50,000 because y'all say we gotta go to school. No, I shouldn't have to take on that college debt. Please get rid of all my student loans. That's what I asked for. Um, yeah. So just a couple things there.
You just plug that in there, huh?
Hey,
Hey,
man.
who hurts? And I tell you, man, school's real. You know what I mean? and
It is what it is. That's what I'm saying, man. It's real talk on real topics.
yeah. So, but yeah, cost optimistic, cautiously
Yeah.
optimistic about
Very, very.
Team Biden Harris.
I'm cautious, but I know this. We all know women in our households. and everything else, they do have a checklist of what's going on in the current event. I
Oh,
would like to see how that would actually play into this.
Well, you saw what it looked like when
Hey,
somebody tried to run it like a business, and that to a degree had some level of success. So hey, maybe that's, you know what I
I don't
mean?
give a high level of success. I give it. It was.
I get you. You gotta check your boxes.
Maybe Donald
Because
Trump
next
cracked the
time I
code.
hear
You're not
about a
supposed to run
presidential
the
tweet, you
country
can press.
like a country. You run it like a business.
Yeah, but you're right.
No,
Business.
no.
You know?
How far does it get you? How set back are
That's nothing. Now that's the problem because no matter what issues come up, you can always sit down and address them like a business. It just depends on what issues you choose to sit down and address. That's the problem.
that
The
is?
whole concept of
You're
running
more
the country
concerned
like a
about this
business
presidential
doesn't
tweet.
really.
Oh,
But that's what I'm saying. The whole concept of running the country like a business isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just if that's the case, you have to sit down and address every issue. The ones that you don't address are going to be the issues that people have a problem with.
yeah, yeah. So,
You know,
but to get back, man. First black female vice president nomination, Kamala Harris. Congratulations. Let's keep moving the needle. They say black girl magic, but I'm not gonna
yeah.
go there. I'm just gonna say congratulations. We're gonna keep trying to move that needle forward, and we're gonna see where this goes and how this takes us. So,
Hold on.
on that note,
It's gonna be interesting. Oh no.
There.
on that
No,
note,
no. Hold on. Hold on, Mr. Reed. Hold on.
What's up, Scout?
I would like to say thank you to my partners in crime, Mr. Reed and Mr. Black. This has been one heck of a ride so far. I'd like to say thank you to both of y'all gentlemen. You know, appreciation goes a long way. If you say it, if you don't, but I'm very appreciative and thankful.
Thank
And the
you.
other thing is, please log on to the Sugarways Entertainment /ENT.com to get the shirts that we wearing in the show. Now you can say whatever. You know, I deal with you. You know, you'll kill me later. But, you know, I had to say that.
Shameless plug.
we'll catch you next time as the clock turns and resets on Clockwise Thoughts.
Later, people.